ever seen his robes?
No.
I think that's where he got Ric Flair. Like, that's where people gave him his drip. He always, like, walked in like, a swag robe. He had, like, 35 of them.
Yeah.
So I think I have, like, a slideshow of pictures. We could talk about, like...
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I know who Ric Flair is.
Yeah.
And we looked into him a little bit, but, like, bro, I just...
No, I don't know. I still don't understand the WWE completely, but I've watched it.
I just don't.
I could name, like, 10 wrestlers.
I just don't get it.
John Cena, you know who he is?
Yeah, I know John. I'm just saying, I did not watch wrestling growing up at all.
No, I did a few times. Not a lot. I don't really watch it now either.
I just watched UFC.
Yeah, me too.
So, like, I know, like...
Yeah, I don't know.
But, I mean, Ric Flair is a legend.
I mean, you're after your game anyway.
Huh?
You're after your game anyway.
What do you mean?
Traveled here yesterday. There's 5 absolute smokes in the airport. Just so you guys know, like, I'm not the only one doing it because I look over at Kyle when he starts putting on his rollie before he goes over and walks by him. I look back over at him and he's doing his Rubik's Cube, but you were doing it in the backpack. But I think that
I did it as a joke, bro. I didn't actually.
No, you were starting to do it, bro.
No,
the inner nerd came out and you're in your backpack doing it.
I didn't do that.
If you start doing that in front of them, they're confused. So like, yo, this kid's actually, maybe he's smart too. But anyway, they asked you for a photo. You FaceTime.
No, well, first we saw 5 hot chicks, and then a fan came up to us and asked for photos.
Yeah.
Right in front of them. You said you were going to get their number first.
Well, dude.
So we're getting up. Steiny was supposed to get their number. This is the truth. Steiny was supposed to get their number, and then they all asked me for a photo.
Well, I was behind you, so I don't know if they...
But then the hot one said, she's like, oh, my boyfriend loves you guys. So it was like one of those. It just threw me off.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
And she was like the hottest one. The other ones were like...
But you just went 0 for 5, and I was really disappointed.
I had no riz, yeah. They said they were from San Diego, too.
Close to the crib.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you okay?
I choked.
What happened?
I don't know. I just choked. You
think you're washed up, or?
No, definitely not washed up.
I don't know,
Definitely not washed up. But no, I know.
We have Ric Flair today. Imagine what he would do in that situation.
He
would have went home with all 5 of them.
They're
They're
probably watching because we FaceTime their brother and shit. So.
Well, here's your chance now.
Toss me a DM.
There we go.
Yeah, they're from San Diego too, so that would have been.
And this was in the Tampa airport.
And we're in OC.
Miami airport.
Miami airport, yeah.
All right, well there you go. Maybe we'll see if
no way that girl had a boyfriend. Girls trip to Miami.
No, that was like a frat bro. Just like, yeah, no way.
Yeah, you know what it was though? They probably cheated all weekend, and then now they're like back to boyfriend mode.
Yeah,
yeah. Like they're in the airport and they're like, "Fuck, what did we do this weekend?"
What's the secret to the Rubik's Cube?
There's
a step move. I looked it up.
Yeah, you got to. There's like.
So you don't solve the colors. Like that's where you're really smart. But no,
the white. You have to get one side first, and then there's patterns you got to memorize, like based on different, like what you see.
So I could figure it out. It just take time.
Yeah, it would take time.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot, way longer than it took me.
Yeah, I bet
for sure. Yeah.
One YouTube video, I'll fucking have it down.
How's your guys' show going?
Good. Well, Gabe might be removed soon, but it's going really well. Too much of a diva, bro.
Really?
Yeah. You think I'm a diva?
Here, why don't you just sit there for a sec?
But yo, we're having a good time with it. It's doing well. I got a little lazy, so I'm sorry. My creative was fucked. I fell in love for 2 weeks. Got distracted. She's gone. I'm back.
But
so
that's
we're good.
Different. Like the first class thing. Like you promised first class is part of my agreement with him in this case, right? So if you're part of the contract.
It's really not that. But I'm telling you, I want to do that for you anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah, so it's like it's part of it. When you tell somebody something, you do it, right? If you don't want to do it, just don't say it.
No, but the one thing that does irritate me is like I don't remember promising like $1,500 dinners after every episode, and you run up my bill.
Roll the clip last podcast. Gabe, call catch right now and book a 10 people table. How is that my fault?
You give off that energy of like, yo, we got to go do something. I don't know.
I gotta go home. I travel next day, right, Bessie?
What?
Like I travel next day. Let's go home.
I can't control it, dude. I can't.
Yeah, well, that's your problem, bro.
It's like bro, just order whatever.
That's no one else's problem but your own.
It's so.
But you give me that. I feel like I got to take care of you and shit.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So don't fucking.
You should be thankful, not fucking.
I'm thankful.
Did you actually buy her that 5K bracelet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucked, bro.
He wanted to buy.
There was a couple behind the scene deals. Don't worry. We'll roll with the narrative that it was 5K. But
yeah, he got in a big trouble after that. But yeah.
Yeah. Fuck, bro. Why do I do that stupid shit? I'm done with that.
But it's time to try to.
No, I dated this chick for 2.5 weeks, bro, and like, I didn't buy her shit. I did buy her. I bought her a Louis bag, but it was a cheap one.
How much? 2,000?
1,000 used.
See?
How long have you known her? Like, how long have you been like seeing her?
3
2
days.
2.5 weeks. But okay,
That's so dumb, bro. I would never do
okay.
that.
Well, then, yeah. Well, let me tell you the math. We spent every day together for 2.5 weeks, so that equivalates to like dating for a month and a half.
no.
Do you?
It was all day, every day for 2.5 weeks.
I would. I
Do
don't
you
know.
bring your girl to like Rodeo Drive and here, baby, that's my car. Go buy whatever you
No,
want.
I didn't do it
that?
like
I've never
that.
done that in my life to a girl,
He
but I
does
would
that to every
never,
single
ever,
girl.
ever do that to a girl that I just like.
Well, that's gone. So
Fuck, I don't know. I'd have to be dating a girl for like at least like 3 months to probably buy her something.
okay. Well,
Well,
what's
this guy goes to New York and fucking go to.
you bought some
Montclair.
big gifts in the
I
past.
bought. No, I'm saying I bought, but that's because that's
Little
when
bit
I'm
more
with a
than
girl
that.
for like a long time. I'm saying a random chick. That's just like crazy because like then they can go around and tell people that like you fucking splashed on them and shit. Kind of
good. I hope she tells her friends, and then they fucking come
I
around.
don't fuck with that. I don't like that.
Yeah, but then the next podcast that we did, the girl's like, "Hey, where's my bracelet?" So they expect him now to come to the pod or hang out with him because of his money, not because of who he is.
That's not true.
Not saying
Then
that
you're,
happened for the
then you're
last
also
girl, though.
setting
Not
the
saying that.
standard so high because you're like putting yourself in the category with as like a baller, and we're around so many big ballers that like are way bigger ballers than
Can't
us,
compete.
and like you're never gonna be able to compete with that. You know?
Yeah, is this like a fucking intervention right now, or what's good? Can I just live my life how I want to?
Well, yeah, you
Well,
can.
your whole show is about flexing and shit, isn't it? So
Yes,
we're talking
and it's
about it.
getting crazy. So I'm changing.
So
I
how's
have
that
some.
my
I
fault?
have some crazy creative coming up though. You guys should actually tune in. It's gonna be wild and it's different.
I'm not fucking putting an outfit again. Like, not.
No, you're
fucking-
good. You're good.
Okay, but you're not using the other guy too, anyways.
Yeah, I
If you
am.
use that, we're done.
I got a way better game.
Well, I'm standing up.
All right, Ric Flair.
Yep.
Hey guys. How's it going? How are you? What's up? Are guys coming out tonight?
I'm down.
Hell yeah, man.
It's a good time, so we have
Woo!
Dragon fruit, woo energy, mushroom blend.
Wait, Rick, is there actually mushrooms in it?
It's mushroom infused. I don't know,
It tastes really good.
but man, it'll wake you up, and it keeps you awake for a long time.
Need that.
So wait, it's functional mushrooms?
It's really good, honestly. Try the strawberry
Joe
banana
Rogan drank 3 of them.
in one sitting.
No, in the course of a day and a half.
Let's see.
How many have you had today?
I can't get it, believe it or not.
We appreciate you coming. You're obviously a legend. We're really happy to have you, and
Thank you.
we're gonna get into like all your stuff. But what's your life like right now? Like, what's your day to day like with like you got a bunch of new businesses and stuff with the weed and the energy drink here.
Yeah,
But
my life is the best it's ever been. To be honest with you, I'm busy. I'm with people I like to work for. I'm learning.
what was like some of the businesses you're involved in like today?
Well, the main one I'm involved in is the cannabis with Adam, Chad, and Aristotle.
Let's talk about your career and how you got into wrestling because you were in a league before the NWO.
NWA.
Yeah, NWA. I mean, sorry.
Well, actually, I started in a American Wrestling Alliance (AWA), and then I spent a year there training under Vern Gagne, and then I got a chance to move to North Carolina, which I only knew because I had to memorize the capitals.
Mhm.
That's about all I could do in school, was memorize the capitals. And I got to Carolina when the highest building in Charlotte was 10 stories high. It was just me and Richard Petty.
The
No
early
Michael
days.
Jordan, nobody.
Wow.
And now it's a thriving metropolis. I don't know if you've been there, but
No, I haven't been there.
I've seen it grow like crazy, yeah.
Well, it's big because all the NASCAR drivers are from there, aren't they?
A lot of them live up in the Lake Norman area, about 30 miles out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how did your whole persona, Nature Boy, like? Did you choose this persona? How did it come
No,
about?
I was in an airplane crash in 75. And I was just kind of finding my way around. And I mean, I was getting a decent push, but I really didn't have I was half Billy Graham, half Dusty Rhodes, trying to find myself. And then George Scott, the promoter at the time, first of all, if I could wrestle again, which was a big question mark, let's look at a guy named Buddy Rogers, who was probably the best of his generation. Great physique, much better than mine. And he wore the rhinestone jackets and all that. So, as my friend Harley Race, remember that name?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Harley Race said, Flair took Rogers' gimmick to a whole new level.
Well, what? Can you tell us a story about the plane crash? Like, were
Yeah,
you
I
in a
wanted to-
private jet or?
No, it's Cessna 310.
Okay.
twin engine.
So it's like a commercial flight or private flight or?
No, it was a private plane, and we were
Like a
flying
propeller.
with this guy. Well, here's the deal. We back then in those days we drove 3,000, sometimes 4,000 miles a week, but a minimum of 3.
Mhm.
And like an average week, I'd give you like we all lived in Charlotte, so Charlotte Monday was either Greenville or Fayetteville. So either way, you're home that night. Tuesday's either Columbia, South Carolina, or Raleigh. If you went to Raleigh, then you just stayed in Raleigh because you had TV Wednesday, and then off big party Wednesday night, Thursday Norfolk, Friday Richmond, Saturday Roanoke, and then you could be in Savannah in the afternoon,
God
and
damn.
Greensboro at night. It's a 4,000-mile week. Wow. But with all a lot of the towns are fun to spend the night in. So anyway, we're going to Wilmington, and that's the first time that Michael Jordan he came to the matches. Not this particular night, but I'd met him there when he was like 19, and well, I was in a bar one night, and this guy came up to me and said, "You guys drive everywhere?" I said, "Yeah." I said it's a lot. He goes, "I got a plane." "You do?" "Yeah." I said, what will you charge to take us like to? I said Raleigh as an example. $100 a piece. I said, $100 a piece, fly a plane? Well, we started banging it out everywhere. And we should have known there was something wrong with the guy because he hit a jet stream one time. When how tough that can be in a small plane following us 737 in the Norfolk, and the plane went upside down. That should have been our first
Oh my
reminder that the
god.
guy might
Did he
not
do it
know
on
what he was
purpose or
doing. He
accident?
didn't know a pilot's license.
So how do you
So-
get on the plane with him again after you go upside down one time?
Because I don't want to
Because that price is
4,000
too
miles.
fucking good.
Yeah.
You're not turning down that $100.
No,
That's
no,
worth
yeah,
going upside
yeah.
down a couple times.
Yeah, like flying 2 towns in one day would be $120.
Yeah.
So yeah, are you kidding? After driving 4,000 miles,
Did you guys ask him like, yo, what the fuck happened there?
he just said we hit a jet stream. I mean, I've done that before on a big plane, where a guy will follow a guy in too close. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of things are monitored. You know how complicated it is to be into the air traffic control
Yeah, I bet.
situations, especially in bad weather. You got 30 planes hovering over Atlanta or Chicago.
Yeah.
Snowstorm. I've seen some shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, we compensated for being overweight, 1,400 pounds, unbeknownst to us, and he compensated by carrying less fuel. And we hit a headwind. Wilmington's on the coast, and what he should have done is land in Raleigh, refueled, but it was 100 miles more. And I guess he thought, you could push it. So we crashed less than a quarter mile away from the runway.
Do you remember like what?
No.
How did you first know? Like, don't you remember?
I just remembered the right engine going boom, boom, boom. And he reached down and pulled the fuel. I saw him reach down, right? And there was no fuel. And the left engine didn't even go around. It went. We were sailing. We stuck in the ground at 230 miles an hour. And that's going through normally a orchard of trees with cartwheel a plane, a small plane like that. We just tore the orchard down, a tree orchard.
Jesus.
Yeah, landed on a railroad embankment.
And one guy passed away, right?
Pilot passed away. He never regained consciousness. 2 guys are paralyzed. I broke my back in 3 places. Another guy had insane intestinal problems for a while. David Crockett. He's still living.
Whoa. When you get off the plane like that, do you just feel like
tough to get back on.
Yeah.
So when I got the clearance to go back and start wrestling, the first time they wanted me to fly, are you ready to fly? I said, I don't know. It was like a big 10-passenger jet, but every time, when a smaller plane, when they mix the fuel, plane goes, the engine goes, till they fix the mixture on a prop plane.
Mm-hmm.
That noise used to drive me crazy. But, like when all of a sudden you could take off, you're going wide open, even on a big jet today, and they'll see something that they have to pull back on the throttle. And still to this day, it just, it throws me out of whack for a second. But I'm used to it now. I mean, I've got a lot of time, and I've got more hours in small planes probably than I do
You said you broke your back in 3 places.
Yeah, T10, 11, and 12. I used to be 6'2".
Were you
So-
were you unconscious like when you
Mhm.
crashed and you woke up in the hospital?
Yeah, well, back then they had these military ambulances, right, where they boom, 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 3 on each side, right? And so I thought they said we're going to lose this one. I thought they were talking about me, so I'd written a note to this girl named Sheila.
Wait, when? On the way down?
No, he thought you said you thought you were
No,
going to
I
be the
was
one that was
seeing this
going.
girl named Sheila. I was married, but I was seeing this girl named Sheila in Norfolk. So I'd written her a note, right? So I go to the guy. I said, there's a note in my shaving kit, man. I said, get it. It's to a chick named Sheila. In the hospital, when I realized I wasn't dead, I said,
Did you get the note back?
Tell Sheila I love her, but not to come see me.
That's the sign of a true beauty. Your plane's going down and you're thinking of your
No,
side
this is
piece
no,
right before you
He's in the
die.
hospital.
This is what I'm in
Oh.
the ambulance. And the
In the
guy
ambulance.
said, they were going to lose this one.
That's legendary.
What about
Yeah.
your main girl? Did you leave anything for her? Or
My
Sheila,
who?
like your main girl at the time.
No, my wife, I was married.
Yeah, but did you think about her or just Sheila?
Oh, of course I did. I was worried that Sheila would show up and she'd be there.
How many successful flights do you think you had with this guy before that?
Shit, believe it or not, probably about 50. Maybe more than that. We were using them all the time.
Fuck, man. How long did it take you to recover? You said you broke your back 3 times.
Well,
3
it's
places.
supposed to be a year, but our business is. I was lucky; they liked me a lot, so they were paying me $1,000 a week. But supposed to be a year, but I was back in the ring March 18th,
So how long?
October 5th to March 18th. But I
5
only
months?
I went from 255 to 180,
Wow.
and when I went back to work at the ring, I only weighed like 218. It was.
How much did that change like your style or like did you have to change your entire the way
No,
you
we spent time looking at footage of Buddy and all that, and I technically was probably as good a wrestler as he was. I just had to get it in my mind, and then I saw Joe Namath. I went, that's
legend?
the ticket.
Yeah.
Laying on the couch in Miami.
Yeah.
When I heard that he pounded 300 chicks in Alabama his freshman year, he's my hero.
Yeah, well, he's one of the goats.
Is
Yeah,
that what
he
made
is.
you want to get into wrestling? Like chicks?
No, but I like that character of Joe. Joe Namath was what people. Well, I know Joe pretty well now too. Not real well, but yeah, I've had some good talks with him. He was a wild man in college. I don't think he didn't own Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. Did you develop relationships with like a lot of other athletes? You said you met Michael Jordan when he was 19.
I know Michael Robo. Yeah, I know Michael.
You met him when he was at UNC? He was 19, right?
Of course, yeah. James Worthy was there. All those guys are my friends. I see James Worthy all the time at signings.
Who were some of like the biggest fans of you when like athletes you said Namath, Jordan, but like wrestling I feel like in the 80s was so big and like the lifestyle party scene was even bigger.
We were well conditioned, like the comparison would be the Rockers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we took Motley Crue out one night. They didn't make it to the concert the next day. They thought they could party.
Where'd you guys
That
party?
Tommy Lee was laying face down in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh fuck.
He still ain't got off the floor.
That's crazy.
How did it like become? The partying lifestyle in the wrestling. Like, how did that become so big? It was just,
Did you ever see the movie Johnny Cash?
yeah, of course.
That was us in the old days.
Who like
A
led
pile
the
of
charge?
cars
Was it
driving
you?
down the road, huh?
Did you like lead the charge?
No, I mean we all just bought cars. I always would like to be in control of my own destiny, so I like driving my car.
Yeah.
Because if you're going in somebody else's car, and you're on the road, then you're on their time frame to work out, go to the gym, and all that. So I got arrested one time, and reciprocal agreement had just gone into effect with different states. I had 86 moving violations in 2 years, and the judge put me in jail for 30 days. So I had to appeal to the Superior Court for habitual speeding, and they only fined me $25 and let me go.
Wow.
But I thought I was going to sit there for 30 days.
What was jail? You went to jail for 30 days?
No,
you just got sentenced?
he sentenced me to 30 days in jail. For speeding, he said, son, you got a problem.
That is a lot. 86 times in 1 year.
No, 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
That
40
is
a
still
year.
a lot in 2
But
years.
Still a lot.
That's a lot in a lifetime.
No, in South Carolina, in the old days, they write you a ticket, you just tear it up, throw it on the road, and keep going.
I like
I'd
that.
get three in one night driving back from Charleston.
Jesus.
Then you could have beer in the car back then. I mean, prior to Strom Thurmond's daughter getting hit at 5 points, and now South Carolina's a bitch with open. I mean, you have an open container. I think it's $1,000 a can, something
Yeah.
like that,
Oh,
and
yeah.
jail time.
Yeah. Hell yeah. How? I mean, you guys are all in such good shape too. So how do you like party like that and then stay where you need to be?
Yeah,
It
what's the
just
secret to
becomes a
that?
frame of mind and a way of life.
Are you
Can't
still
miss
going to the
the
gym
workout.
every day, even after partying and all that?
I was then, yeah. I don't go every day now, but I try to go at least 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how do you go to the gym after like a super?
You just do it.
Yeah,
It becomes a way of life. Then you sleep on, and then later on when we start flying everywhere, then you sleep on the way to the flight in the next city and get up and do it again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What was one of a you remember like a crazy party night? Like one of your favorite memories? I know there's a lot. Or like top 3 or something. Like Motley Crue, partying with them back then. That's crazy.
It was called Wrestle Rock. It was a show that a guy put on in Jacksonville. It was just fun, but nothing. Those guys couldn't hang with guys like Roddy Piper and that. They thought they could.
What can you tell us about the Four Horsemen?
I can, but one of them's married. I don't tell stories about them.
Okay.
Just one guy survived.
We don't have to say names, but there's
No,
four of you,
that
right?
Bill will figure it out. I don't
Yeah.
want to do that. He didn't even want to be part of my documentary. He said, "Hey, I like you, but I ain't talking. I'm telling him myself."
Where was your spot? Like, where was your favorite place to go out in the U.S.?
Oh God! And where?
Like in the country?
The Snuggery in Chicago, which is on Rush Street. It was Gibson in Chicago, Norfolk. Jesus, guy named Rex Harrison who played for the Rams at a place called geez, I'm going back to the 80s. Anyway, it was me, Pernell Whitaker, Arnett. No, I believe Arnold. Leaves Arnold. Me, Pernell Whitaker, and Bruce Smith. It was Bruce Smith's 30th birthday. You know Bruce's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many times, 13 times All Pro, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He drank 30 shots of Jack, and I don't know how many grams of cocaine. Bruce, sorry.
Bruce Smith's a legend.
But Pee Wee's gone now, man. It's just you and me. Now I can't get Bruce to drink red wine.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Some of these guys make such drastic turns in their life.
They were telling us downstairs that you watched Andre the Giant drink 100 plus beers.
106.
In how long?
I've seen him drink 2 gallons of wine, too. And I've seen him drink every bottle. Keep in mind that a 747, there's obviously other passengers. But who can drink a 747 dry on vodka going to Tokyo?
So you're saying, though, that you watched him drink 100 beers.
106.
In what time period?
10 o'clock at night till 5 a.m. 7 hours.
That's like Steve will do it times 5, bro.
Yeah, is that...
Yeah, but 2 gallons of wine is even more impressive.
What kind of shape is he in after that?
Fine.
How the fuck does he do that?
106 beers is that's
500 pounds,
fucking
guys. I mean,
crazy.
He is, 500 pounds is a
Yeah,
lot, but
yeah.
100 beers is pretty wild.
Yeah, but I got
In
friends
7
my
hours?
size. I have friends my size, or maybe like 270. They could drink 50 beers.
Where do you find these guys? The bar?
No, but wrestling friends.
Yeah.
Barry Darso, Ray R. Barry, shouting you out, 56 beers. Myrtle Beach. Yeah, the guy named Harley Race. I don't know how to tell you about him. We had a lot of interesting characters in our business.
Yeah, I think it's pretty unique that you guys
That's a whole different world right
had
now.
such a good relationship like outside the ring like that. You don't see that in
Yeah, no, you don't see it anywhere in life anymore. I really enjoyed last night my experience with Brett Hull and these hockey players are really badass guys. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying all of them are real good fighters, but all those kids are like 4% body fat and skating 2 shifts or 2-minute shift, wide open up and down that ice. I mean, you got to be in incredible shape. But the camaraderie last night to see Ty and Brett Hull, you know, because one of Ty's arch rivals was Brett's teammate, you know, and they're telling funny stories about the guys. And, yeah, you know, I don't think the world permits you to do that anymore. They create animosity. They don't want the kids to party and relax and have a good time. They want them to be they're so conscious of social media.
For sure.
I guess that's the right way to put it.
Well, it's probably so different, right? I mean, people tell us all the time back in the day, you guys didn't have to worry about phones or fucking anything,
Yeah,
right?
No,
I mean, it was a lot easier. If you had a wife too or a girl, it was way easier to cheat. Now it's pretty much like
You're
it's
fucked.
impossible.
Oh, I do personal speaking engagements, and I tell everybody that first thing I say is, what ruined the world for all of us guys? I hold my cell phone. So one time my wife says to me, my third wife, she goes, I called her, I had her Buffalo, she had me in Buffalo for a while. I'd go up to the room and call, which I had never done, right? So I'm here, and I'm going to go downstairs and have some beers with John Cena. And so she had the nerve to say to me, what do you have in common with someone 30 years younger? John's exactly 30 years younger than me, right? I said, you know what? Let me think about that. I'll get back to you. In the meantime, the guest house is 40 feet from the front door. Be in it when I get home tomorrow. Boop, down, front desk, no calls. Down to the bar.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because now I feel like girls are such detectives on social media. Right?
They
Like,
think they are. I'm James Bond, brother.
but don't you just assume, Rick? Like
I'm
if you're
disappearing this weekend.
if you're in a club though, you got to assume that like anything you do in that club is gonna be filmed.
We hope so.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I'm filming. I take pictures of all the entertainment and send it to Chad, and I know that Adam will always respond. Chad turns his phone off at 8:00 at night, but I send him over to Adam. I don't want to hear us all getting booted out of the house either. I send all the good stuff over to Adam. Adam goes, "You the man."
What's your favorite place to party now?
God, where?
Miami?
Oh, in Miami, yeah, we had the best times down there.
I think Miami's
Yeah,
by
it's the
far
best party
number
city
one
in
right
America.
now. Post
Yeah, I
COVID.
prefer it to Vegas. Vegas is nice, but the problem where I used to be able to stay out all night in Vegas, I can do anything, but I get tired, and nothing starts till 11:00.
Vegas was probably way better in your era, right? Like I feel like it was the
Oh my
spot.
God, Vegas!
Like,
You had to wear a coat and tie. Now it's a redneck Riviera. Like, people walking around the most expensive casinos and shower shoes and that. I mean, it's nothing like the Vegas that I knew in the '80s.
yeah, that's where everyone used
I
to
used
go.
to tell
Right?
those guys that were hiring hookers to pretend like old Blue Eyes or Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Danny, send up 3.
Something that a lot of wrestlers said about you, it seems like you still have it, is that you just had the best and the most energy out of anybody.
I do.
Where does that come from, and how do you still have it like this?
Brett Hull said, are you the most famous guy in the world? I said, that's still alive, yeah.
They all said you're considered you the GOAT too.
I don't know about that.
Who was like one of your favorite, I guess, rivalries or just
Opponent?
yeah?
My favorite of all time is Steamboat. Dusty Rhodes, Sting. I've been lucky to, like Hulk. I mean, I met Hulk. We met when he was young. Then I didn't see him for years. But every time he and I touched, we'd made money. It's just that, that they didn't want me. They kind of deal with me with WCW when those guys came over was out of mind or out of sight, out of mind, But they always came back to me for something. But I really wasn't part of that. But every time I got around Hulk, then it didn't matter whether I never won, but it was in the position that I wanted to be in. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so easy to work with. That guy, he was so over. He comes down. The only guy I've seen like him was Kerry Von Erich in Dallas in the old days.
Mm.
When they made that video of Kerry riding a Palomino, like in the Tarzan movie, like
Sure.
with Bo Derek and that, right? And go to Rocky's music. Brother, the chicks love that kid. We had 3 major riots at Reunion Arena.
Was it like a competition and like who could get the most girls between you and the other guys?
Oh, most definitely.
Do you think you were the number one spot?
I was in the top 2 or 3.
Can you give my boys, he's going through it right now
Huh?
because he's like, he doesn't have his game. Do you have any advice for him?
Always make them come to you.
That's what I tell you.
The minute you try to cut them out of the herd, they think they're special. Then they think an Indian gets something special out of you. Let them come to you. Talk to them in sign language. I hear. You want to go upstairs? Yeah.
Fuck, I guess I gotta switch it up.
What does that mean? I hear.
I ready to go.
Oh.
I ready for any kind of action.
Fuck.
So
So
you can't.
were you like-
the minute you walk over to them, you're screwed. Oh, here he comes.
Because then you're just like every other guy, right?
No, because her girlfriends are saying, "I told you to come over to you. Told you to come over to you." Not walking a mile.
Because when you don't give them
like a guy
attention,
will
it
say to
fucks
me,
with
"You
them.
come over to my table and get a picture with my family." I said, "Absolutely not. If they want to come over and get to my table and get a picture with me, I'm fine. But I'm not getting out of my chair to walk in." What a stupid question.
Were you a big? Would you ever like?
It's like somebody buying you a drink, right? And people, I'm notorious for this, but we were laughing about it last night. You let someone buy you a drink, that means you got to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Can this guy buy a drink? No. This guy buy a drink? No. This guy wants to buy a shot? No. Because then you got to talk to them, right?
Yeah.
If it was just going, thank you, but the minute they send you a beer, here they come.
Yeah.
That's true. You owe them something.
Yeah, forget it.
Were you? Would you ever like buy girls shit? He's a big like he buys like random girls jewelry and.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, Rick, I know you were about that life too.
Oh, so I was.
How many times have you been married?
4.
Would you
10 great years. 20 great years. 27 actually. We were together. 2 years and then 3 months.
Would you recommend marriage?
No, not until you live with someone for at least 5 years.
Yeah, marriage is.
And I wouldn't
scary.
recommend children out of wedlock either.
What's going on? It's Snoop, and I'm here to announce that the new Happy Dad and Death Row Records flavor is great. And now, it's officially in stores. I chose the flavor, and the team at Happy Dad, they spent months perfecting it. And it's my new favorite drink. If you're chilling at home or turning up at the club, make sure you do it right with the Happy Dad and Death Row Grape. Call your local liquor stores and see who has it. It's everywhere now. You can also order it on GoPuff app, Instacart, and Drizzly in some areas. You gotta be 21 and over and drink responsibly. And also, look out for the official Death Row and Happy Dad merch collaboration. Please believe it when I tell you this.
What I want to talk about the robes because they're so legendary, right?
Mhm.
How many of them do you think you? How many different ones do you think you had?
Do I have them right now?
How many do you think you had over time? It was like 35, 40?
No, 43.
Okay. And how many do you still have?
2.
Wow. And what happened to the rest?
Wives stole them all.
They what?
Wives stole them all. I left 2 on I was flying back from Germany on Lufthansa, and I had 2 robes with me, and I was drinking with Ricky Steamboat, and I got off the damn plane without the robes that were above my head.
Yeah.
And walked through customs. By the time I got back through customs, there was no TSA then either. By the time I got back through there, they were gone.
Damn.
Your robes are a big part of your character, and
Mhm.
like you think that's probably where
Yeah.
like the Ric Flair drip started.
Yeah, and the jewelry. I always liked a lot of jewelry.
And did you come up with it? Like, did you have a designer who came up with your robes for you, or like?
Oh yeah, Olivia Walker made them all for me. Yep, the greatest seamstress. She made all this stuff for Glenn Campbell, Loretta Lynn, Tammy Wynette, George Jones.
Yeah, the outfits were such a big like.
Yeah,
d-
that's what he meant by.
I feel like that kind of doesn't stay like it's not as important to the wrestlers now, but back then it was such
Yeah.
like your look was everything.
Yeah, I know. And now it's you can wear tennis shoes and jeans, and they all wear a t-shirt, a t-shirt that markets are. I don't get it, but I'm not anyone to judge or compare it to because I didn't always make the wisest choices in life. I just tried to look like. I remember my dad said to me one time. That's one of the poems I lost on that Lufthansa. My dad said one time. He said, "What do you think of the patient would look at when that came to see me? She walked in my office. I was wearing shower shoes. I said, well, you'd never do that. She said, well, dress the part when you go to work. That always stuck with me.
Did you have a favorite robe ever?
No, the peacock was my favorite. Peacock is the one who Mulligan tore up on TV. That's the one I beat Harley Race with.
What do you think? So are you a fan of today's wrestling and stuff or no?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Yeah, the outfits were drip back then.
They were nice.
What do you think's the biggest change from then to now that you've seen?
Marketing.
Yeah. You think it? What about marketing exactly?
Well, we didn't know how to market ourselves. Remember when we weren't always on national TV?
Mhm.
You know, for years there have been closet fans.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, how successful Chad is. I'm not going to brag about his success, but Chad grew up watching wrestling.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like to admit that.
Mhm.
It's much more fashionable now, but there were doctors and lawyers watching us years ago.
Of course.
They just wanted to say we're a wrestling fan. I mean, that's for the rednecks,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, or whatever it was, the blue collar, white collar.
Yeah.
So Steve Austin kind of defined that. That's what Steve did.
Hmm.
He did what every working blue collar guy wanted to do with his boss, with Vince, when he said "fuck you," right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it blew the business wide open. But now they've taught him that what they call what was it called? The Attitude Era, because they were losing sponsors because of the cussing and all that. And so now they're not PG, but they're looking for the children's audience too. That makes sense.
Yeah. For sure.
Where it used to be, we couldn't walk into a hotel that wasn't packed with women. Now it's a guy's soap opera,
Yeah. I know.
and it's all they're not a girl in the bar. God forbid. I used to tell them where all we were staying. 18 to 28, no boyfriends, no husbands. Marriott.
You said that on
And
national TV, right?
Yeah, every time I had a chance.
What would that? So
My wife
So
would
you
say-
would just shout out the
My
after
wife
party?
would say, "Why are you telling everybody we're staying in the Marriott?" I said, "We get a deal. Stay there for free. What do you think?"
what would that look like when you'd say 18 to 28, no
Why aren't
girlfriends,
you
no
wearing
wives?
your wedding ring? I said, "That's not my gimmick. People think I'm a playboy."
What would that look like when you'd shout that out? How many people would show up? And
In a bar?
when you would say, "Hey,
Oh.
come here."
Oh, God, at the Crockett Cup in Baltimore, where they had to shut the hotel down. I had a suite on top of the hotel, and guys and girls were leaving their boyfriends and husbands and riding the elevator up had a bodyguard. We had 300 chicks up there and about 20 of us.
It's a good ratio.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I went downstairs to check out in the morning. My credit card bounced higher than Michael Jordan could jump. I go, "Gary," this guy promoter, I go, "Gary, my plastic is not working right now. You get down here and check me out of here. I got to catch a plane."
Yeah, I read something that I can't remember which wrestler it was, but he said that you guys showed up to a hotel and it was like 500 a night back in the 80s, and he was like so pissed off, and you're like, "Dude, it's part of the image. Like, we have to do this."
Cut the girls?
No, you
Have to do what?
like you have to spend this kind of money.
I know. It's part of my gimmick.
Yeah. So so were you just blowing through it? Like, does any of you regret that, or you're just living in the moment? Like,
I didn't regret it back then. But the IRS has explained to me several times why I should have regretted it. This whole thing is a savior issue. This is like saving Ric Flair.
Yeah.
Not becoming Ric Flair, it's saving Ric Flair. The becoming, that's just one part of the documentary, the saving.
through all
I'm
that,
actually getting a rebate this year. I almost fell on my chair. I said, "Say that again." To his brother, he said, "Yeah, you're getting back for you have 380 grand. I went, "You got it." I mean, my heart skipped a beat. I thought I had, but my pacemaker was broken. A rebate?
it's so funny because we were talking about how back then everybody had their personality,
Mhm.
and I was looking at it, and because obviously Ric Flair "Drip" by Migos, it's a banger, but you're mentioned in 11 rap songs. So like
Yeah.
Kanye West mentions you, Migos.
Mhm.
Does that like surprise you, or do you care?
No, I know every one of them. The only guy I've ever met is Drake,
Yeah.
and Ty just signed Fusion. And I
Yeah,
think-
Tiger shouts you out.
I'm not Ty. Chad just signed Fusion, and I think he's going to do something with me and Mike. Is that what did I say? Fusion? Sorry, future. Sorry.
Do you have like a favorite song or anything where you're shouted out, or that you
Ric
listen
Flair-
to get you going?
Ric Flair Drip.
Ric Flair Drip's a bang.
How often do you listen to that just to get in
There's
your
over
zone?
2 billion hits on that.
Yeah, it's a I
On
mean,
all forms of
That beats so hard.
yeah.
uh,
How did they reach out to you to do that?
it's a strange story. I had just I got out of the hospital in October, and they reached out to me, and I didn't have any memory going backwards. No memory going backwards for 6 months. I can remember the day I woke up, and I knew the people that were with me, but I couldn't remember anything from the past. I was just dreaming. You just dream. You see everything that's ever happened in your life.
Wow.
All goes before you.
Really?
Yeah, you just dream. Then you wake up and you go, but I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't remember I have a lawyer. Didn't know it, and I had to hire a new lawyer. I mean, it was a nightmare. So it's a gift. I mean, everything I'm getting right now is a gift. This is the recovery and saving Ric Flair
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Whole other chapter.
Yeah.
I know, that's crazy. Like, do you ever look back like at everything you've been through and like even the plane crash? Like,
You got struck by lightning. We didn't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
How many? Was it once or twice?
Well, I got hit my umbrella once, but I was in a small in a Seneca 2, which is a small plane. He got hit on the 4th of July, brother. Smacko. Was that?
what the fuck?
You couldn't feel the electricity, but brother, when you get a strong shot, when it really hits the wing of the plane, you might as well.
What about the umbrella? Like, where were you?
Well, getting off a plane in Richmond. This was before jetways.
So you got off the plane, it's raining.
And they kept all of us on the ramp, right? Because it was they're not going to let you off. So there's a U.S. Air Jet, Eastern Jet, and Delta. And I was on Eastern, I think. So anyway, no jetways, and they can't let you get off the plane. So finally, I mean, I'm late for the arena. The weather was bad. I'm wrestling Steamboat that night in Richmond Coliseum. And so finally, they go, okay, you're clear, and they hand you out umbrellas. You get off first class, right? And man, I'm walking kind of like at a real rapid pace, trying to get, because I was gonna leave my suitcase there and come back and get it. I had a driver waiting for me, and all of a sudden, something started pulling on my hand. And I went, "What the fuck?" And my umbrella just yanked out of my hand, and it shot straight up in the air. I went, "What the hell?" And what had happened, I hit that. You know, they hit those metal rods on top of them.
Yeah.
You don't see that anymore on an umbrella.
No, not
It
really.
hit that, bounced off that, and hit the guy right behind me, 10 feet behind me in the eye. Killed him.
What the fuck?
I just stood there and froze. I mean, the most cowardly act of my life, I just froze. Everybody's running out the door, hollering, screaming. I couldn't believe what I saw.
What the hell?
Bro, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What was it? There were 2 experiences, right?
Oh, the other one was that when I
But a
started getting hit
lightning
by the plane.
bounced off an umbrella and hit someone else?
You've had a few near-death experiences here.
It's funny though, nothing as bad as that when I was in the hospital for 31 days. ICU. I couldn't even open a can of Diet Coke. I had to learn how to walk again. I think I didn't have a speech pathologist, and I had that stone on my side
Mhm.
for a year and a month.
And what were you in the hospital for that specific time?
Ruptured it. I had a complete ruptured intestine. I was septic, which was the terrible part, which means the infection had spread everywhere, right? I had a respiratory heart failure, pneumonia, and total kidney failure. Two kidney machines to get me back up and running.
That's crazy. Like, you've been
Yeah.
close to death a lot. Like, you're
Yeah,
like,
and Wendy stayed in that room. She never left. She had what's called what do you call that? Psychosis. When you're like in this environment for so long. So anyway, some kind of psychosis she got where she just played Johnny Cash for me over and over again.
Looking back on like your entire career, do you have any big regrets or decisions you wish you wouldn't have made?
Oh God, a lot. All family related. I realize now that there are days I could have taken off if I'd really put my foot down, but when everything is so political, I just didn't. And I've definitely made some terrible mistake with women.
Sorry about
Truth.
that. One thing this is kind of switching topics, but one thing I'm curious is when you're in the ring and you have these feuds, like do you ever get heated, or did you ever like lose your temper?
Sure. Many times.
And how do you control that? Because you are still kind of like fighting this guy.
Well, if I can beat the guy like in real life, I can control it. If I can't beat the guy in real life, I got to kind of figure it out as we go. It doesn't happen very often.
And when it did that change like the whole dynamic for you? Like when does
No,
it ever get personal?
It just made it much more physically aggressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
And then did you guys ever have situations outside of the ring where it was like, did it ever go outside the ring or no?
With 2 guys?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jesus, absolutely. That might happen every night. Not every night to me, but it's hard to get along in the contact sport. You know, where everybody thinks they have to win to make more money, which is not the truth.
Mhm.
I'm living proof that if you can make somebody look really good, make them enhance their look, enhance the entertainment value of the match, and lose, that's an art that's totally lost.
Yeah.
I've won 16 matches, and I've lost 5,000,
Yeah.
11,000. Does that make sense?
Yeah. What's the most important thing to like get your own fan base?
Just find something that separates you from anybody else. You know, mine was a limousine ride and private jet flying, you know, but people bought into it. I mean, people actually thought that was me. You know,
Yeah.
But there's a place called Freeman's in Atlanta. I bought 234 pair of alligator shoes since 1980.
How much was that?
I walked in there one day with Pete Rose, Dave Parker, Ozzie Smith, and Dave Parker, Pete Rose, Ozzie Smith. And those guys bought $48,000 worth of shoes. There's a 4th guy, Johnny Bench. And then so I bought 8,000 worth. So I just try to keep up with them. I'm going, God. And I see Pete all the time now, right?
Is he's signing autographs in Vegas
Yeah,
still?
I sign with Pete all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a funny guy, man.
Yeah.
He's got some great stories. I mean, Pete played with Mickey Mantle. And
Yeah.
These people were crazy. Mickey Mantle drank more than me.
Really?
Yeah, a 321 batting average, 550 home runs. I mean, you know, Mickey Mantle lived. When I think back on these guys and you hear these stories from Pete, you know, who did all those guys drove in the old days. Whitey Ford and Whitey Ford, Mickey Mantle, and Moose Scour. Those guys would drive from New York to Boston.
Just a party?
No, they would drive to the
For the
towns
game?
like we did.
Yeah.
They didn't have private jets and that.
That's wild to think about.
That is
Oh,
crazy.
Mickey Mantle was wild,
Especially
man.
him. Really? Yeah, you got to give us a story about him because he's like.
But I've never been around him. I just know the stories I've heard about. You know, the movie depicted him perfectly.
Yeah.
But I don't believe these movies unless I hear it from someone that knows them.
Yeah.
So I'm really good friends with Chris Christopherson, right?
Mhm.
He says everything you heard about Johnny Cash is true. That movie, Johnny Cash, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. But Johnny and Elvis and those guys in the backseat of the car, and I mean that was it. And the Big Bopper getting on the plane and getting off the plane because he was afraid of the weather. And who's the kid with the glasses that got on and died in a plane crash?
What did he do?
You guys know what I'm talking about. That'll be the day that I die.
Not Ray Charles,
No,
right?
Buddy Holly.
Oh, okay.
Remember the Big Bopper got off the plane and Buddy Holly got on. And they crashed, that airplane crash.
Fuck, damn.
It's like the kids from, what's that band that crashed in Spartanburg? The lead singer, Leonard Skinner.
Dude,
Hey.
why are all these guys getting in plane crashes?
Yeah, what was the lead singer at Leonard Skinner? I still see one of the guys in the band in Nashville periodically. But yeah, because back then, or if they're flying shit airplanes and nobody knows, some guy says I can haul you around, right? And instead of riding a bus,
Yeah, of course.
they get on the plane.
Are you still partying like that now?
No, I go out. I don't party like that. No, I have. I am.
Stuttering a little bit there.
I don't party like I used to, no, but I still have a good time.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you could change one thing about today's like WWE wrestling, what would that be?
I wouldn't change anything about it because at the end of the day, it's better. The kids they don't have health insurance, but Vince basically pays for anything that happens within the ring or at business. And the guys are making a lot of money. And that's why I don't do a lot of old timer stuff like that. something a place in Vegas they have all the time. Wrestlers. Anyway, I can't complain. It's a different life than what I did, even from 2006. But it's better. It's healthier, and running out. It was a lot of fun to survive back then, and maybe if we had everything going that the guys have now, that would slow you down. I don't know what would slow me down. I'd probably have a real tough time right now, even with social media. 'Cause I like to go out.
Yeah.
I never drink at home. Never.
You're not
Never
a casuals guy. You're more of a social drinker.
I gotta be with people.
Yeah, that's like me.
It's the best time of your life, and telling stories. You meet some people like whenever I go to these signings, I hang around with Pete and Pete Rose telling me about Willie Mays, and you grow up with people. Like yesterday, I was with Brett Hull, and I hadn't seen Brett in a while, and talking about his dad and everything, and so the Golden Jet, Bobby Hull was the man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he says to me, "Can you imagine that the old son of a bitch was staying with me at my house?" He's talking about his dad, Bobby, and he said, "I went to bed early because I'm in the playoffs." And my wife, and Bobby, my dad, sat downstairs and drank another bottle of wine. So she walked him upstairs to the room. She walked out of the room. He said, "Hey, if the kid down there can't get it done tonight, remember the old man's right down the hallway." So she told Bobby, she said, "Bobby, he said, Dad, you old fuck, you haven't had a girlfriend or hard on since you're 80 or 83. And so I said, I'm 74. I said, you give me a 5-year window, Brett? He started laughing like hell. He said, "You're 74?" I said, "Yeah, you just gave me a 5-year window, and I'm trying to score this chick right here."
Are you single now?
No, I'm not. I'm single. I have a partner. I'm not married, but I have a great partner, Wendy.
What's the most expensive thing you ever think you bought one of your girls? Is it the Rolex?
Oh, this is a great story. No, that dumb nuts, the one I was talking about. So, because I had just bought my wife a 5-carat yellow 5-carat yellow. Let me see. The one was cushion cut. One was shit. Well, I can't remember. Marquee, whatever. I used to know all the cuts of all that. For $105,000. So I liked this girl so much, and I was pissed that I bought that ring, and then something happened that made me just go off the edge. So I went and bought the chick a $110,000 cushion cut diamond from this place, right?
Yeah.
And gave it to her for an engagement ring. That was the worst thing at it.
So she got away with a lot.
No, she had to sell it.
Oh, but I mean the watches, the rings.
I repoed I just bought her a new Porsche. I repoed that too.
Fuck.
Let's go.
I got a couple things back.
That's good.
The good thing about all my ex-wives,
Yeah.
you know what it is? None of them
They love you for you.
None of them have ever remarried.
Woo! That's a huge win. That's a huge win.
That's a W, brother.
Yeah, that's a huge win.
Why do you think that is?
Who are they going to marry?
They obviously weren't good people,
he's
right?
not alive anymore.
I mean, the one that slept with 10 of your friends is not going to find somebody, right?
I don't know. Not me.
Can't believe she did that, bro. I'm hurt by that.
I am too. Especially when you say it right up front. All you got to do is say, yeah. Then nothing happens. Everybody walks away.
That's scary how a chick, verbal masseuse.
Yeah, you're scaring me, dude. I want to call my girl right now and see where she is.
Never raise their voice. I had been in
Your girl does go on a lot of coffee runs now that I think
I
about
had
it.
been in a very volatile, argumentative state, right? Where the screaming just didn't stop. You know what I mean? And that's when you know and especially when the kids come upstairs and I'm just horrible. So all of a sudden, this is like, I refuse to talk to you like that, Rick. When you can stop screaming, we'll talk. I said, I'm sorry, I'll learn. And it really was like a calming period for me, but it won me over. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Verbal masseuse.
Fuck.
Let's go to man, boys.
Yeah, we should actually.
Miami?
I would go.
It's like a 40-minute flight, right?
So anyway, I go to the girl pilot. So I go, you know, place to stay tonight. She said, I've already got a room. I said, why don't you go? Why would you go to the room? We got time to go to the bar.
Did you hang out with her, the girl pilot?
No, I tried though.
You ever took down a flight attendant?
Oh, Jesus. If I ever taken down a flight attendant?
Yeah.
How many?
Which airline?
Yeah.
Let's go.
They were my specialty. Are you kidding?
Wait, so what
Hey,
airline?
little girl in the high school sweater. She better like to get to know you better. Hello, Mr. Flair. Welcome aboard. Yeah.
Wait, did you take them down on a public flight though, or after like the flight?
I have run to the goddamn gate before TSA with a redhead 5 feet ahead of me tell me, stay back 10 feet, let me fix my hair. I run to the door, she goes, hello, Mr. Flair, how are you? How was your evening? It was great. Waking me up in Charlotte.
You ever taken down a Spirit Airlines dirty flight attendant or no?
No.
Oh, okay, good.
The best was that Singapore airline, man. Before they put the straps on that place, I'd never seen anything like that before in my life.
You got a Singapore Airlines flight attendant?
Did I get one?
Wow. And that's the one where they wear like the hot outfits with the hats and
No
shit, right?
shit. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Pour you a glass of champagne and give you a honk honk.
How do you do it? What's your secret sauce?
That was with the 80s.
The 80s are the time to be alive, bro.
What's that?
The 80s were the time to be alive, it sounds like.
Hell yeah.
Why are flight attendants so hot, eh? Like
I don't
even
know.
It's like a fantasy thing.
they go up 2 points just for being a flight attendant.
Well, wait. They did. Let's root back out of that now. The times have changed. But I just like to have fun, and a lot of people do like to have fun. But you've got to be very choosy who you pick to have fun with now, because they can get mad overnight. You can be 1 minute you can be the hero, the next minute they're mad at you or something.
Yeah, it's definitely, well, it's different for us too, because you experienced 80s, 90s where things were so different. So you
Mhm.
probably were accustomed to that.
Well, I
Or
started
we-
in the 70s, so
Yeah, but I mean, like now for us, we're so used to this, like, got to be careful with everything you do.
yeah, literally. And I mean, because of the situation and the opportunity that's being presented to me now by Chad and Aristotle and Adam, I'm even more careful.
Yeah.
Because I go, Jesus, you know, I just don't want anything stupid to. I mean, I always try to be polite and everything, but I go out of my way now to be
Got to be over polite.
even
right?
stand up. And if a woman comes to the table, I stand up. I mean, all stuff my dad taught me how to do, and I insist that I do, but I'm just overly aware of it because all eyes are on you.
Yeah.
You ever been out here in Tampa? I'm sure you have, but
Oh, a bunch of times.
recently or no?
Recently, all weekend.
Oh, you were here all weekend?
Mhm.
Oh, nice. How was that?
Great.
What'd you guys do?
Drank.
Nice. Where's the spots around here? Like, what's a good spot?
Well, I got two places. I'm going to show Adam the town tonight. So I'll probably take Adam and these girls, friends of ours, to the meat market, and then let's go from the meat market. You're going to stay here tomorrow night too, right, Adam? I said tomorrow night that'll be the basketball game. No, tomorrow night. Thursday is the first night of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
shit,
Denver.
okay. I'll take them to Pearl, Boulan, Meat Market, American Social. I'll find out where the vibe is. We'll go. I
Gotta
got
have a
I got a
couple tonight.
driver.
Nothing crazy. Maybe just one or two.
Just one or two, yeah.
5 or
Nothing crazy.
6.
I don't know. It doesn't sound like you do one or two often. Maybe now.
Oh, I thought you were talking about girls.
Fuck.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I'm
No, you're-
down.
no, you're
That
not.
Sounds like fun.
All right, well, let's do it. We
You
got to see
guys
this
are-
in
you guys
action
are in town
now.
tonight?
Huh?
You guys are in town tonight, right?
Yeah, we are.
We are
Let's see
now.
who's tonight. So what the hell? So
Might have to
basketball.
push back that 8 a.m. flight a little bit, but
I'm supposed to go to Miami tonight. I'll change
Oh,
it.
forget that.
Well, yeah, I'll change it now. I
I
got to
got-
see this in action. Maybe me and you are the
I got
power
5 girls
power
getting
duo.
drunk on my boat right now.
Huh?
I got 5 girls on getting drunk on my boat right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Why don't we go to the boat right now?
We got another podcast to do.
You got a
We'll do it on the
podcast to
fucking
do?
boat.
5 friends.
Shit.
Well, we got to do.
We like go there. It's my
They'll
chick
be back
probably.
around 5. Me and Adam will be there.
Let's fucking do it. I mean,
Yeah,
this
we'll
is
be
like
there.
we can't
Like-
turn
We'll
this
put it-
down.
We'll do this for our Nelk video.
Life jackets and everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's have a night tonight.
Hell yeah.
Fuck it.
Let's do it. All right.
All right,
Well,
well, I think this is
By,
awesome.
by the way, I have a friend in this town that owns 6 strip clubs, so I don't do them. But
Shit,
if you guys
bro.
want to go,
we have to. How can
you'll
we
hit
turn
that
this down?
penthouse.
Let's fucking do it like you used to do it. How can
No,
we
no,
shout
no,
out?
No, not that much.
What?
Not like you.
We
used
have.
to.
Come on. We have to have
Somewhere
an
in between,
80s
bro.
throwback
It's a
night.
fucking
It's an 80s
Tuesday.
throwback night. One time.
Yeah, I don't think so. Let me get this brand launched a little bit more securely.
Yeah. Let's not go back into the 80s.
However, we will be passing out thick Rick tonight for the girls.
Yeah, wait. So we never talked about Thick Rick.
Uh-huh.
What's Thick Rick?
They, marijuana a cannabis product for erectile dysfunction.
Really? Do you know how that works at all, or how's that?
Yeah.
How does marijuana help that?
I can't explain the medical side of it, but
Right.
it's well, the Ric Flair drip is actually the priority, and
15 states, you guys said, right?
I think I am Mike's in 24, right? 28. I'm in 15, and then they're launching overseas every day. It moves so fast, and I wasn't. I mean, I knew cannabis because I've had a lot of people come to me, but it just wasn't the right time for me to. Number one, because I work for WWE, and I think they're even tuned into it now a little bit because there's so many positive effects that people were turning their nose up to and wouldn't listen to it, wouldn't hear about it. But it's going great for me. I mean, I'm just campaigning when I follow these guys' lead, and they send me and sign autographs and help promote the product, and I'm having a great time doing it. And I'm
That's
having
awesome.
fun because the people, which is a big part of my life. If I can't have fun doing something, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of things I didn't like doing. This I really enjoy doing. And I'm hanging around with world-class people, and there couldn't be a nicer guy in the world than Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's awesome. What's something you learned about the business that you didn't know?
That women love it. A lot can be said for that.
Yeah.
I can't get it shipped in fast enough.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the most popular guy in Tampa when I'm loaded down Ric Flair drip.
All right, I think this was great, right?
Rick, you're a fucking legend, bro. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
There's 2 of them.
Not bad.
Let me see.
I think we could do better than that tonight, but those are good.
I'll take right. You take left. If you're cool with that.
You guys are watching this. New Nelk video might be out or might not be out, but it's coming out. We're gonna cut to the Nelk video.
When
Wow, with Rick
will
tonight.
there? No, I'll go back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you tonight.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Thanks so much,
Thanks,
guys.
guys. This was awesome.